talk about the decision and get it out the way?
What decision? I didn't see any.
Well, the decision, what decision? Do you think Declan Rice was correctly booked twice
I think
for these incidents?
That, like they're saying, like you see the ball's moving now, right? So the ball's moving. So we're talking about letter of the law, and we're talking about consistency. I was talking about Darren. So if we are going for the letter of the law, we are going for consistency, then that's not ready to be taken because it's still moving. So then they should have had a look at that and said, well, OK, well, the ball is moving, so you can't restart play because the ball... But then I heard this on 24 Hours. I'm hearing ex-referees come out and saying, OK, that was interesting because nobody mentioned that fact. And that is letter of the law. If the ball's moving, then you can't take the restart. So those things should be taken into consideration. We've got referees upstairs who know these rules. I didn't know it. You know what I mean? I didn't know it, but they know it. So they should have said, hang on a minute, the ball was moving, so he wouldn't be able to take the restart anyway. So when you go into it that deeply, like I obviously have over the weekend, you think to yourself, OK, probably let down by consistency again.
It does feel harsh, that second yellow, doesn't it?
Oh, it's incredibly harsh. I don't want to see games of football decided by that. That was a really good game of football. And if Arsenal would have had 11 players, they would have won, more than likely. So I think the 60, 70,000 that come in, they want to watch football. They don't want to watch a technicality of maybe a little kicker. I know maybe the way the law's written...
That was a first yellow. I mean, obviously there's a spotlight on it because it was a second and he got sent off. But even if that was a first yellow, we'd still be at least acknowledging it today because it just feels strange.
Premier League games shouldn't be decided by that. It should be decided by these brilliant players that we have. And I know the way the law's written, it probably is deemed a yellow. But it comes back to football players, feel. The ref's got to have a bit of feel in that moment. It's a really good game. Yeah, OK, it's a bit emotional and he moves the ball. Wright makes a great point. The ball's moving, so you can't take it. So in that sense, I think it's crazy harsh. Declan, he's close. Ball's moving, just a little move. That's not a yellow card.
You could see as well that Veltman... Yeah, this happened. Who used to do this to me a lot? Francis Benali at Southampton. Because when you get the free kick, you go in front of it, Kel, and then you start walking away. Because obviously they can't book you for trying to go and get 10 yards. So you go and you try to walk away. But then they kick it against you, and then you get booked. Yeah. They've got to see these things now. They've got to
but you also would have been the player standing opposite Declan Rice going, lash for the law.
Well, Danny Webber was saying, it's a yellow.
Yeah, you see it. I mean, there's nothing I can do there.
That face that says, come on, it's a yellow. But Declan done what all of us do when, especially that stage of the game, you know what I mean? You're that far up in the pitch, up in the other end of the pitch. You're just going to delay and just start jogging, probably. And, people say, well, Declan shouldn't have done that. He's probably gets away with it on week in, week out. Obviously, they're going to clamp down on it this season. So I'll be looking out for it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be plenty of yellow cards flying around for that. It's hard to say that's deliberate, isn't it?
It is, but I'm in a minority today because I'm going to back up the referee.
Well, do you know what? If there's a question mark around it, then it can't be overturned. So it's okay.
No, I just think that Declan's had a bad day. He's a fantastic player, but the first tackle, he's not going to win the ball. And he goes launching in and he gets the yellow card. He knows he's on the yellow card. And then he puts himself in a position to get carded again. Now, again, the PGMOL, they give us all the rules before the season begins and they tell us what the threshold's going to be. And they tell us Law 12 means if you do... Sorry about being a bit of a geek on this.
No.
If you do attempt to delay the restart by kicking the ball away, and they're very specific...
but not yet, and he might be the bookie's favourite to get the sack. I don't think that will be right. I think one or two will go in front of him. And I really hope it does work out for him and United, but I'm just not sure. There's still so many fundamental issues with that team, and I think Dan Ashworth certainly knows that.